Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I've been getting some requests to talk about the Titus O'Neil situation that's going on in WWE right now. So, I watched the video. I didn't even notice this. This, I think, was on Raw. It might have been on the extended network thing, which I honestly didn't see that. But now I watched the video and I saw what happened. So, here's the story basically. Titus O'Neil was suspended for 90 days, which has now been reduced to 60 days, for pulling McMahon by the arm, spinning him around toward him. You see McMahon like pulling away, like, pissed off at it and shit. And the thing is, like, I take a look at that and it looks really weird. Like, Titus pulled McMahon pretty hard there. I see a lot of people jumping at McMahon. The fucking New York Post. For anybody who's not familiar with the New York Post, that is a fucking yellow journalist fucking rag right there. You don't know anything about New York newspapers, so, don't even comment on it if you haven't even read the New York Post. That paper is a fucking joke. Everything that they write is like editorialized, and they put their fucking fucked up opinions in here. New York has got a lot of fucked up people. It's not a reputable newspaper. They don't know what it was. The New York Post. Was anybody from the New York Post there? Were they there to see the incident? No. So people are jumping on what. Of course, what does the New York Post do? What they always do with their colorful fucking, you got to see, like, if you are a New Yorker, if you ever read the paper and got your hands on a copy of the New York Post, the covers that they do, it's like no one would even fucking take them seriously with some of those headlines that they have. It's like a complete fucking joke. And they called McMahon racist because he chose to suspend Titus O'Neil. So this is a total cop out. You don't know what happened. You don't know anything about the story. But a black man gets suspended, and what's the first thing that comes to mind? Racist. That is a story for another day. But when you just because somebody is of a different race and somebody does something to that person that's related to, it's his job to work, it's racist. If a white boss fires a black employee, it's not necessarily racist. I'm not saying that racism doesn't occur occur. What the fuck is wrong with me? Occur in the workplace. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is racist. It has happened, for that reason a couple of times, racist firings and stuff. And if that was the case, then that is justifiable to use that term. But you can't just say that it's racist. You fucking people here in the YWC who are jumping all over McMahon. Nobody jumps all over McMahon more than me here. Uh, I mean, I say the man is clueless. He's out of touch. Of course, I would be itching to say anything more about McMahon that is negative, But the thing is, I don't know what happened. I see this video and I see a man, Titus O'Neil, violently pulling the arm of Vince McMahon and, twirling him around like a fucking ballerina. And I have to say that it looked kind of aggressive. It looked kind of violent. And, a lot of wrestlers, I don't know, I read this on PW Torch. So, usually they're reputable, but not everything is always 100%. The wrestlers were saying that what Titus wanted to tell McMahon was good natured. That the thing was good natured. But why did he pull him so hard? If you're walking somewhere, I come next to you and and you're not expecting it, I pull your arm toward to pull you toward me, and twirl you around like a fucking tornado. You're gonna probably be a little bit annoyed by it. Now, maybe I don't know what happened, why Titus O'Neil chose to do this. You know, during a man's retirement speech of all places. That's a little bit odd to begin with, but I'm seeing other opinions that maybe the suspension had to do with steroids. Obviously there's a lot more to the story. People just don't get suspended for touching other people, but this was aggressive. To suspend a guy for that amount of time seems a little bit odd. And if that was the reason, perhaps that was a little bit uncalled for to suspend him for that long. But I don't know what happened really though. I don't know the full story. I don't know what was said. There's no dialogue. I can't hear anything. All I see is that right off the bat it looks kind of inappropriate. How tight that is his boss. And really just fucking think about this. Say you're at work, right? Yeah, you. I know I gave the example about me doing it to you, but what if you did that to your boss and you fucking pulled their arm towards you? You would never do that. You would never touch your boss. The only time you would ever touch your boss is to shake their hand. That would probably be the closest you would ever get to your boss. Why would Titus O'Neil do something like that? It doesn't seem like a good idea. There's probably more to this story than is letting on. But yeah, I don't know. I know that this is probably not the video that many people were expecting. They probably wanted this to be a cliche video where I just rage and be like, McMahon's a racist! But that's not gonna happen because, as I said, the difference between this channel and other channels, whether it's wrestling or anything else, is that we tell the truth and I say how I really feel. So I don't think McMahon is racist. And, I'm not going to completely, even though I think a suspension, should definitely warrant some more details, I'm not going to rush to Titus O'Neil's defense because pulling a man's arm like that, physicality, that's not part of the show with wrestling. We have to understand this is the wrestling business, but if it doesn't happen in the ring and it isn't scripted, then that's just fucking violence. So, he didn't punch him or anything. That I could see suspension for, but we don't know the whole story, motherfuckers. All right. So until then, if there's more developments with this story, I will definitely do a video on it. But right now, where I stand, I don't know. I don't know if McMahon's right, and I don't know if Titus O'Neil is right. But Titus is wrong for pulling the man in that nature. That's all I'm going to say. All right, motherfuckers.